Morning, we are back. First time out in about, well, it's been 3 months, so the last time I came was in March. I was in peg 1 and I'm blank basically. Didn't have a single touch in 48 hours. So obviously I've not been quite a while since I've been. Work and life just kind of gets in the way of things. So, but before we start, I've got to say a massive thank you to a company. They very, very kindly, to be fair, it was when I was last here that it came, sent me a box of goodies out to do a bit of a review on the next time I came out. Obviously I haven't managed to get out until today. By no means or stretch am I saying that I'm sponsored by this company or anything like that. I am not. I've used this company's bait for a very long time anyway, obviously buying it with my own money. They need absolutely zero introduction into the world of carp fishing, carp bait. So in this box, what was very, very kindly sent out by Stickybaits, they have sent me some goodies for me to review in my next session, which is obviously now. So I have had a long time to think of how I'm going to apply the bait and what I'm going to do with it, but I'll show you what's in the box. So there is a kilo of 16mm bloodworm boilies. There's a kilo of 12mm bloodworm boilies. There is 2.5 kilos spod and bag mix in bloodworm. And then there is some 16mm signature pop-ups, which I have done very, very well on here in the past. I haven't used them for a very long time, to be fair. And also some 12mm signature wafters. I have brought more bait just in case I do get through this. So what I'm going to do, half of the spod mix I'm going to use with some crushed up and whole boilies, and then I'm going to use the Calanus hydro to soak all that, and probably a little bit of the shrimp hydro, and then the remaining of what's left from this bag, or the spod and PVA mix bag, I'm going to use as solid bags, and I'm going to inject or squirt into that the oily anchovy by whole mackerel fish oil, because that gives off one hell of a plume in the water, all the oils and everything like that. So fingers crossed we can actually catch something this time, since I am using, you know, stuff what I've been sent out for, you know, absolutely free, which I am hugely appreciative of. So I'm going to finish off setting up. I am going to be using a bait boat for 2 of the rods, not that I'm a big fan of it, but because you can't spod on here, and because I'm using pellets and bits of crumb and stuff like that, I've borrowed Chris's bait boat for that. Not a huge fan of using them. I do prefer to cast and catapult my bait and stuff like that, but because of how I'm going to use this, I ain't really got a choice, but I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. And then the solid bag, I'm just going to be casting to a little spot that I do know of in this peg. It's probably the hottest, one of the hottest days of the year so far, so not ideal fishing conditions, but we're here, we're out, we're fishing, and we're having a go. So I'm going to finish getting set up, get the rods all done, and then I will show you the bait mix once I've done it, and then we'll get fishing. There we are, pellet, crushed boilie, some 12mm and some 16s thrown in there for good measure. the rods all out. Left the middle rod on the edge of the island, which I put out with the boat, and the crushed boilie, pellet, or spod PVA mix and whole boilers and stuff like that. So they've both got one of the signature pop-ups on. I've got a yellow and then the pink on the other one. One's half a wrap shorter than the other, because I remember when I fished peg 6, which actually came up on my Facebook memories the other day, yesterday, sorry, that it was 4 years ago yesterday. I did the 48-hour session and the first session in this whole Quest series thing. Similar weather to this. I'm not saying I'm going to do the same this session. But I think it was 24 runs and 21 landed, and that's when I caught big girl for the very first time. So fingers crossed it's something like. I'm not saying it's going to be the same, because it won't be. I know it won't be. So they're on similar spots to where I fished from there, and it's on the spots what I always fish in peg for anyway. And then the right hand rod, which is on the solid bag with the remainder of the spod PVA mix, that's got one of the 12mm wafters, a washed out yellow one, and that's just cast towards a little spot. So just off these reeds here, what I know, or what me and Chris both know. And when me and Chris came here in September last year, when he was in here, he had quite a couple of fish off there. So I'm hoping we can catch a few this time. I mean, this is only the second time I've been this year. I'm yet to catch carp this year. But like I say, work and life has sort of taken over a little bit this year, so I've not had as much time to come fishing as I would like, but it's just the way it goes sometimes. So we're here, we'll try and make the most of this one, because I'm not sure when I will be able to go next. I imagine it's probably going to be when I go to France. So me and Barry go to France in July. We're going to a place called Etang Rouge. It's in Limoges. We're doing the fly package. Obviously you borrow their gear, they pick you up from the airport. Food's included, only thing you have to buy is bait. And if you want any beers or anything from the shop, you can run up a bit of a tab for your peg. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's only a small place, probably slightly bigger than here. I think there's 4 pegs on it, but we've got it just to ourselves. There was another lad meant to come with us, but he's now not coming, so we've paid that little bit extra to keep it just for us. It does only allow 3 people on it at a time, but I think if you do have 4, you go down to 2 rods each, kind of thing. Stock wise, I believe there's not a massive amount of carp in there, but there is sort of 5 fish, £60, close to 70. There's a boatload of 50s, a boatload of 40s and 30s, and there's a couple of catfish. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. Should be a good week, hopefully. But you never know with fishing, dear. So I'm going to crack open a can of Coke, because it is absolutely scorchio. Just put some sun cream on, don't want to get burnt. And fingers crossed I'll have something to show you very, very shortly. uneventful today, to be honest, so hence the lack of me sat here talking, because I've not really had nothing to tell you. I thought it was going to happen early doors, to be honest. When I first got the rods out, at 11, 12 o'clock, getting plenty of line, I've seen plenty of fish. I was sat up there to the right hand rod, which is on a solid bag. I saw 2 fish come across and straight off the bag, and they both stopped. Bit of a, you know, you could see him sort of go down, and load of liners on the, well, quite a savage liner really, on the right hand rod. And then the fish just sort of disappeared, so obviously I got done with that one. But loads of liners on the middle rod. The left hand rod just getting picked up by the ducks. I did move that to sort of the middle of the 2 trees. I moved it off next to the middle rod. A couple of hours after I put them out, but yeah, I thought the middle or the bag were going to go. I've shortened the rig on the bag as well, but I don't know if they've just moved off to sort of the other side of the island, because the guy has turned up for peg 3. There is somebody supposed to be in 2, but they haven't turned up yet. So I've just patiently sat here watching the water. I've had my tea, just sat here with a cup of coffee. Probably ain't going to be long till I climb into bed tonight, climb into the pit. It's going to be a warm one overnight, I believe, so I'll just be sleeping on top of the bag, I think. But I'm hoping when the temperature drops a little bit, through the hours of darkness, something will happen. I know it's going to be slightly difficult with it being, you know, pretty warm, but I thought at least maybe a grass carp today, but obviously nothing. So keep the head up, keep going. Hopefully something through the night. So fingers crossed, I'll see you through the hours of darkness with something to show you. But if not, I'll catch up with you in the morning. That was a very warm and quiet night. Absolutely nothing to show you this morning or through the night. Loads and loads of liners, constantly all night long. I've barely slept, to be fair. It's just one rod would do it, then the next, then the next. It's if they're coming back and forth. A lot of them sounded like there was runs, so you dive out of bed and then pop in and just drop down. Yeah, I literally saw it go dark and go light. So the coffee I've just had was definitely well needed this morning. I think the guy has turned up who was supposed to be in peg 2 last night. So just redone the rods. The bait mix, what I did, I've just made it a little bit more sloppier. I think some of the powders and some of the pellets were sitting on top of the surface, and that's why all the ducks were coming round and, you know, eating all that off the surface, and then they'd be diving the bait, on the bait, picking up the rigs, which is an absolute pain in the backside, but you know, what can you do? It's not very deep, so they can obviously see it pretty well. But it's not going to be as hot today, but it's still going to be, you know, 23, 24 degrees. So fingers crossed something happens today or later on, you know, as we get to sort of tea time. It is a bit still pretty windy, it's blowing sort of straight into my face, or straight into the peg. So yeah, keep going, keep trying, and if I do get out, you'll be the first to know. Well, a very, very quiet day again. Absolutely not to show you. Just been talking to the lad in peg 3. He's had 4 since he's been here. Biggest being £20.6, I believe he said. So well done to you. But for whatever reason, this end of lake, it's just not happening. Still plenty around, I can see them. I've tried zig fishing, give up with the solid bags. I've just redone the rods for the night. It is about 7 o'clock, something like that now. So I've re-put the right hand rod, which was the solid bag, with the middle rod but half a rod length back, so 7 wraps. Put them back out with the boat. but this time it's got a hinge diff rig on, whereas the other two have got runny rigs on, or spinner rigs. But yeah, I had quite good hopes for this session, but it's obviously been a bit, well, not what I expected. Don't suppose the weather's helped, but you know, I'm not looking for excuses because people are catching, obviously. They did start, so some of the fish did start spawning at about 3 o'clock this morning, so in these reeds down here. They was absolutely going for it, kept me up all night long. Back and forth, holding my rods, catching my lines, doing it down here. Woke up this morning, I thought maybe I should go home if they are going to start spawning. Although they had, a lot had spawned 5-6 weeks ago, something like that. And then all of a sudden, and yeah, about dinner time-ish, they've just stopped and they've not started again. So I have stayed, whether that's the right thing or the wrong thing to do, I don't know, but I still haven't caught anything anyway. So fingers crossed tonight something will happen. You know, the wind's dropping now, it's cooling down a bit, so hopefully they're going to start coming from the surface and getting down on the bottom and hopefully having a bit of a feed. But yeah, not really sat here, spoke too much all day because there's been naught to tell you. Pointless me just sat here wobbling on about nothing because there's naught to say. So I've just made myself a cuppa and sit out here and enjoy the last bit of warmth that there is. And fingers crossed, fingers crossed, tonight something will happen. And of course you will be the first to know if it does. Well, that's it, all time. An absolutely massive fat blank for me, unfortunately, but that is just the way it goes sometimes. Yeah, it was just dawned on me I was supposed to be doing a review for the goodies what Stickybaits sent me. Now the bait is no reflection on me not catching anything or anything like that. It's just been the weather, I don't know, peg choice, my angling, whatever. But if you've watched any of my previous videos, you will know that I've used Stickybaits for a very, very long time, and they are one of the best, if not the best, in the business at carp fishing bait. I've used them for a long time, obviously buying it with my own money, because I'm not saying that I'm sponsored by them, because I'm definitely not. And again, I would like to thank them for sending me out the box of goodies. I apologise that I have not caught while using them, because obviously that would have been absolutely ideal and the great scenario and everything, but sometimes that is just fishing and it don't quite go the way you plan. So I'm going home, going for a nice cold shower because it's absolutely red hot roastio. Don't think I'll be out again before I go to France. It's only about 4 weeks till I go. So I think the next time I'll see you will be across the pond in France. So again, if you like anything on this channel, any content on this channel, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, do what you want. And yeah, I'll see you in France.